NFL season is upon us this weekend. Well, actually today, if you're on the East Coast, that is. Dawg here and his Dawg's Fearless Football Picks for the 2022 NFL season. I'll be doing this from the first game to the last game, which will be Super Bowl 57 in Glendale, Arizona in mid-February of 2023. Welcome to the madness that is Dawg's Fearless Football Picks. Now, over the years, I had done Twitter picks, like just regular who would I pick for the week, and posted on there. And you know what? Since I have a YouTube channel, and I've had one since 2020, and I've been adding content since 2020, and live content in 2022, I figured, you know what? Take a chance. See what happens. Maybe people will be ready for some football, because I know I am. Okay. Now, we're going to start off with the game that starts off the 2022 NFL season tonight on NBC, and that game will be at 8:20 p.m. between the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams, who will host the Buffalo Bills, who are the consensus pick to not only go to the Super Bowl, but win the Super Bowl, something they have never done before. They've been AFL champions back in the AFL days. That's not Super Bowl, though. That's AFL. Now, when the Rams ended the season, they ended it at Inglewood, California, their home stadium, which is SoFi Stadium, and they're going to host the Buffalo Bills. And right now, it looks like the Bills are a 2.5-point favorite. I'm going to take the Rams in this one. They won a thrilling Super Bowl 56, as I said, at Inglewood, even though they were considered the road team. They defeated the Cincinnati Bengals. And this game right here is the first game to kick off the NFL season, and it's going to be the last game to end the 2022 NFL season. Yes, I'm taking these two teams to go to the Super Bowl, and I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills to defeat the LA Rams. Not in this game, but in Super Bowl 57 on Fox in Glendale, Arizona in mid-February of 2023. I got the Rams in this one, though, for week one. Now we go to the Sunday slate of games on Sunday, September 11th. No doubt tributes abound all across this country on Sunday. And we're going to start off with the New Orleans Saints at the Atlanta Falcons. The consensus is that the Atlanta Falcons are going to be one of those teams they're going to be picking first in the 2023 NFL Draft. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Saints right now, 5.5-point favorites. I'm going to take New Orleans in this one. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox. That's an NFC South showdown, by the way. Here's a good game, 1 p.m. on Fox. The San Francisco 49ers, who were just points away from going to the Super Bowl and meeting the Cincinnati Bengals again. The only time the Bengals had been in the Super Bowl was against the 49ers 2 times and losing 2 times. Would they have lost a third one? We'll never know. Might happen this year. Who knows? Although I don't envision that. Trey Lance, I guess, is the guy in San Francisco. And they're at the Chicago Bears. And right now, it is a 6.5-point favorite for San Francisco, and it's on Fox at 1 p.m. I'm going to take the Niners in this one. By the way, the Saints game, I don't think will be even close, and I don't think this one will be even close either. I think the Niners are going to come away with the win here at the Chicago Bears. Next, we have the reigning, defending, undisputed AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. And a lot of people are picking the Steelers to win the division. And this division right here, as you know, the NFC North, or the NFC Norris division, as Chris Boomer Berman likes to call it, is one of those rough and tumble divisions. It's a battered and bruised kind of division. We have the Ravens, with the Steelers, with the Bengals, and the Browns. Maybe the Browns to a lesser degree this year, but who knows? Who knows? Steelers, Bengals, right now it is a 6.5-point favorite from Cincinnati. I'm going to take Cincinnati. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff on CBS, by the way. I'm going to take the Bengals in this one, the defending champs. Joe Burrow didn't play the preseason. He had a appendicitis and resting as a precaution in the preseason because, well, he's the franchise, and why risk that? You saw him get battered in the Super Bowl with that offensive line not protecting him. They're going to have a lot of problems if they cannot protect number 9 this season. I don't think the Bengals will be in the Final Four, by the way, in the last 4 teams in the mix to go to the Super Bowl. I think they'll make the playoffs. I just don't see going back to the Super Bowl for a few years at least. It's the Bengals still. I know Burrow's trying to change that. We'll see. Okay, next we have at 1 p.m. the Detroit Lions hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 4.5-point favorites. And you know what? One of the teams that I think is going to improve this year is the Detroit Lions. I'm buying into Dan Campbell's system. The Hard Knocks, I saw footage of Hard Knocks. Take what you will with it. I think that the Lions are actually going to be an improved team. They may sneak into a wild card. We may see that. But don't sleep on the Lions, I think. I think the Lions might actually, and they've been a doormat franchise for how long now? Since time in memoriam. Maybe not this year. I've got the Eagles, though, in this one. I think it'll be close. 1 p.m. on Fox, by the way, at Ford Field for the Lions hosting the Eagles. Next, we have the New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins. They're always playing the Dolphins when the season begins. Have you noticed that, or when it ends? Last year, the Patriots hosted the Dolphins at Gillette Stadium to open up the 2021 NFL season and barely lost. This time, they're taking their talents in to South Beach. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff on CBS, and the Dolphins are a 2.5-point favorite. And I got to tell you, I think the Dolphins are going to be a disappointing team in the NFL. They made some offseason changes, I know. And they've got a new head coach, and they're going to bind a new system. I just think because of the terrible ownership of the Dolphins and Steve Ross, who's a terrible human being and a terrible owner, I think karma's going to get them for the Brian Flores situation, and I have them pegged at 3 wins. That means I got the Jets finishing better than the Dolphins. You heard it here first. I've got the Patriots winning this one in a squeaker. I think it's going to be probably by a field goal within 3 to 5 points. Although, as you know, the Patriots don't play well in Miami at times. And the hubbub in New England is that the offensive line is not that good. That's not good news for Mac Jones, who's trying to take the next step in one of the upper echelon of quarterbacks in his second year. He got them to the playoffs, and I think the Patriots will go to the playoffs this year. Just don't think they'll go too far. Don't think they'll get embarrassed like they did in the wild card round against Buffalo. I think they'll get embarrassed by Buffalo just in round 2. But that's neither here nor there. We'll find out come January. But I've got the the Patriots over the Dolphins in this one by at least a field goal, 3 to 5 points. Next game, Baltimore at the New York Football Jets. And I've got the Jets improving this season. I've got them at 7 to 8 wins, possibly sneaking in a wild card. Zach Wilson will not start this game. 1 p.m. kickoff on CBS. Joe Flacco will go against his former team, a team he won the Super Bowl MVP with, the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens right now are 6.5-point favorites. I think it's actually going to be close. I think it might be within 3.5 to 5 points. I will take the Ravens, but I don't think they're going to run away with this game because, again, I think the Jets are going to be a little bit more competitive in 2022. And I think Zach Wilson will be healthier. Again, I think he'll come back in week 2 or 3. And that's not a knock on Flacco. Flacco knows the system against John Harbaugh and the Ravens. It's pretty much the same system when he was there back in the day. They don't change that much, as you know. The Ravens are usually a running team, and they're a bruiser team on defense. Although the defense over the last few years has taken the hits with free agency, with injuries, with inconsistency. It's been more about Lamar Jackson, who's a running quarterback, and he was injured last year, and they missed out on the playoffs. Ravens, though, I think they're going to be one of those teams. They just don't go away. They're like Jason Voorhees. They find a way to come back from the dead. It's weird. Jacksonville Jaguars at the Washington Commanders. That's at 1 p.m. on Fox. And right now it is the Commanders with a 3.5-point favorite. They're a 3.5-point favorite right now going in. I'll take the Commanders and I'll take those points, 3.5. I think this one will be close too. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars with Doug Peterson as the head coach. It's a new philosophy. Urban Meyer was a toxic coach. It just didn't work out as a head coach for him in the NFL. And I think the Jags are better off for it. Trevor Lawrence, I think, is going to have a much better season. And the Commanders, though, I think will come away with the win. Jags will be a little bit more improved, though, this year, I think. Okay, this one people are talking about, 1 p.m. on CBS. The Carolina Panthers hosting the Cleveland Browns. Ooh, a lot of storylines here. Baker Mayfield was ballyhooed in the offseason. He was injured for most of the second half of the 2021 season, and a lot of people blamed him for the failure of the Cleveland Browns missing the playoffs. Whether it's right or it's wrong, that's just the way it was. Deshaun Watson was acquired in March from the Texans to the Browns, pretty much leaving Baker Mayfield in limbo. He was still with Cleveland until training camp and traded to the Carolina Panthers. He has marked this as his game. He is QB1. He's going to start this game. And the Browns, by the way, don't win openers for some reason. They don't seem to win the first game of the year. Carolina right now is 1.5-point favorite. Now, Baker Mayfield went into the media, said he was going to bash the Browns, and then he kind of denied it a little bit, stepped it back. He has got this game. It's going through his mind. It's racing through his mind. Carolina might not be good this season. They're going to be real good against Cleveland. And I think Cleveland, by the way, is going to be one of those middle-of-the-road teams. Deshaun Watson is suspended until, I think, week 11 when he faces, guess who? The Houston Texans, the team he played for up until Cleveland. I think the Browns, I said, they've got Jacoby Brissett, who's a fantastic insurance policy. And I think that, again, they'll be middle of the road. I don't think they're going to be like 2-15. I don't think that's going to happen. Carolina might be 2-15. But one of these wins they're going to get is against the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to take them. It's, again, a 1.5-point favorite. They may win by 2 touchdowns. We'll see what Myles Garrett does, though. It is a defensive-laden team. Okay, we now move on to an AFC South matchup between the Indianapolis Colts with new quarterback Matty Ryan and the Houston Texans, as Davis Mills looks like he's the guy in Houston. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff on CBS. Right now, the Colts are a 7.5-point favorite, and I think they're going to win by at least 2 touchdowns here. This one might end early. Next, the New York Football Giants at the Tennessee Titans. I think it's do or die for the Tennessee Titans this year. If they don't get it done, that window that they've got such a great running back in Derrick Henry who can be like an MVP type guy. I think if they don't get it, try to get in the Final Four this year, I think the window's closed. Ryan Tannehill might be the guy. He might not be the guy. We're going to find out this season. 4:25 p.m. is the kickoff on Fox. And right now, the Titans are 5.5-point favorites. I'd say they're probably going to win by 2, maybe 3 touchdowns in this one. This one could be a stone-cold lead pipe lock. I'm not expecting much from the Big Blue this year. The Giants they're rebuilding. I don't know if Dan Jones is the guy. He's had flashes of brilliance, and he's had flashes where he doesn't look like he should be anywhere near a football. I just don't know about the Giants. I think they might be one of those teams that could draft first in the NFL. And it might not be a quarterback being taken in the first pick of the 2023 NFL draft. It might be a running back, or, although they've got Saquon Barkley, he comes back from an injury, see how he does. It only helps his trade value, right? That's what they did for Odell Beckham Jr. It only helped his trade value, and he became an all-pro for the G-men. There might be a defensive player. I keep hearing the hubbub that a defensive player is going to be the number 1 pick in the 2023 NFL draft. Let's worry about 2022 first, huh? Next, the Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings in an NFC Norris matchup. NFC Norris, you know. Chris Boomer Berman. I'm going to take that with me to my urn, by the way, NFC Norris. I love that. Packers are 2.5-point favorite. Aaron Rodgers is the league MVP. Don't think he'll get the MVP this year. I think he'll put up big numbers. And Minnesota, they're kind of starting all over again. They've got a new head coach, new GM, new philosophy. Don't know if Kirk Cousins is the guy or not. People are said don't sleep on the Vikings. This is the Minnesota Vikings we're talking about. They're one of the most jinxed NFL franchises there is going. At some point, the luck turns around for good. I just don't know when that is for the Vikings. I'm going to take the Packers. I'll take them by a field goal, I think. They seem to play the Vikings at times. It looks like they're going to play the Vikings really well. And then, as you know, last year they lost at Minnesota last November. But I'm going to take them anyway, the Packers, in this one. And Mason Crosby, if not just a field goal within the 3 points, even though they were 2.5 point, a field goal, maybe 6 points. Again, that's 4:25 p.m. on Fox. It's funny because down the street a couple hours before that, my favorite baseball team, the Cleveland Guardians, are going to be playing the Minnesota Twins at Target Field. So Minneapolis will be the hubbub, the epicenter this weekend with the Packers at the Vikings at 4:25, and a couple hours before that at 2:10, the Guardians at the Twins. The Twins. Okay. Kansas City Chiefs At the host of this year's Super Bowl, State Farm Stadium, Glendale, the Arizona Cardinals, the host team for the game at 4:25 p.m. on CBS. Kansas City's 3.5-point favorites in this game. Pat Mahomes, in my mind, is going to shatter every passing record imaginable. I've got him as the NFL's MVP, and I've got Kansas City, like the last few years, in the Final Four. I think the Chiefs are going to be a formidable foe. I know they've lost some wide receivers, but Mahomes is one of those guys like Rodgers, like Brady. They can make wide receivers that you don't think can make it in this league. I think the quarterbacks make the wide receivers, not the other way around. It's not a Jerry Rice situation, although Montana and Rice was fantastic, as was Young and Rice. And for a little while, Rich Gannon and Rice, for when it was the Oakland Raiders. Yes, the Oakland Raiders, before they were the Las Vegas Raiders. KC, 3.5-point favorites. I'm going to take them to win by double digits in this one. Don't know what to expect from Kyler Murray. I think the seat is getting warmer for Cliff Kingsbury, the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray signed that massive extension. He's not going anywhere anytime soon, although they seem to fade in the second half. I don't know what it is. Could they, though? They, the Arizona Cardinals, make it 3 years in a row of the host team hosting a Super Bowl? We'll find out. Speaking of the Raiders, as I mentioned in the last statement, it is an AFC West matchup between the Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers. That will be a 4:25 kickoff on CBS. LA is a 3.5-point favorite. Justin Herbert is great. He is as advertised. It's just a matter of getting the snake-bitten franchise over the hump to get them to the playoffs, which I think they're going to go this year, by the way. That's such a brutal division, isn't it? Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos. I'm going to take LA by at least, I think, 7 to 10 points in this one. Although the Raiders, as you know, made the playoffs last year, and now Josh McDaniels, the head coach, he could be exactly what Derek Carr needs. Now that Devontae Adams, who was a former teammate of his at Fresno State in college, is his main target, his main wide receiver. Tampa Bay at the Dallas Cowboys, 8:20 p.m. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Why do they have this as a game? Come on. Oh, it's always the Cowboys. Always. Oh, enough already. Overrated. By the way, the Bucs are a 1.5-point favorite. Tom Brady was the talk of the town in the offseason as the Bucs had lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion Rams in the second round of the NFC playoffs in Tampa Bay. He called it quits and then returned on my birthday, by the way. He unretired on March 13th, my birthday. Yeah, happy birthday to me. Nothing like having the greatest unretire on your birthday, right? That's why he did it. That's not all, though. The Bucs have had some changes in the offseason. A new head coach in Todd Bowles, who coached the New York Football Jets at the time. They were still a dumpster fire when he coached them. Didn't have a lot to work with, let's face it. It was the Jets after all. And then I think it was 11 days off for Brady and taking time off, missing preseason because he had some personal stuff to deal with. We later found out, or at least the hubbub, the tabloids, that Tom Brady and Giselle are on the outs because she wants him to stay retired and he wants to play football. He's going to be a Fox analyst at some point, the number one analyst when he calls it quits. I do think this is Tom Brady's last year. Is he going to hang around too long, or is he going to have one of his best years ever like he did last year? I think he's going to have one of his best years ever. He's got a total chip on his shoulder. He wants to maybe even go out on top. Who knows? By the way, if you remember last year when the 2021 NFL season opened up, it was the Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Bucs to open up this season on a Thursday night on NBC. That's how great my memory is. I hope your memory's that good too. Bucs barely won that one. I think they're going to win by at least a touchdown. The Cowboys, I think, are going to play it. As much as I don't like the Cowboys, they're going to play this one close. It's at home. Dak Prescott, I think, he's going to have a big game. CeeDee Lamb, again, big game. We'll see what happens, but I think the Bucs are going to come away with the win by at least a touchdown. And then Monday Night Football, the only Super Bowl rematch, and what a rematch it is. Super Bowl 48 back in, was it February of 2014? Was it January? February of 2014 was played at MetLife Stadium. And that was NFL MVP Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos taking on Russ Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. And if you remember, that game was over before it began. The Seabags crushed the Broncos. And now the role has been reversed. Russ beat them, and now he joins them. In March, Wilson was traded from the Seattle Seahawks to the Denver Broncos. He just signed a massive extension. He has been embraced by the Denver sports community. He has gone to Colorado Avalanche games. Maybe that mojo rubbed off. They did win the Stanley Cup for the first time in, 21 years. Denver Nuggets games, Nikola Jokic, the NBA's MVP. He is also Colorado Rockies. He's just everywhere that he and Sierra have gone, they've been embraced. Not to say they weren't embraced in Seattle. It's just he needed a new lease on life. The Pete Carroll system wasn't working, and Seahawks had a bad season last year. They may have a worse season this year. I think they're going to, by the way. Right now, Broncos are 5.5-point favorites. You don't think Russ Wilson going back to the place where it all started for his entire career, just his first game as a Denver Bronco, he's not going to have a chip on his shoulder? It says Monday Night Football, 8:15 p.m. on ESPN. He is going to have a massive chip on his shoulder. The Broncos, I think, are going to be much improved. They've got, I don't want to say Brady-like from 2020 with the Tampa Bay Bucks. However, they had that emerging defense. The Bucks had that. A wide receiver core. The Bucks had that. And a quarterback looking for a new lease on life. The Bucks definitely had that. The Broncos check all those boxes. It's just a matter of execution. You do also have to remember that the NFC South division is not the AFC West division. It's a little bit more of a bruiser division. If you remember, there was just Brady and Breeze in that division. The Carolina Panthers and Matty Ryan was kind of on the downslide of his Atlanta career. That's why he got to Indianapolis to get a new lease on life. Again, this was 2020 I'm talking about. As you know, the Broncos play in a division with the Raiders, the Chiefs, and the Chargers. That's going to be a bruiser of a division, although I do think Denver is going to sneak in on a wild card. I think this is exactly what Russ Wilson needed. The change of scenery and a community that's going to embrace him. And again, I'm not saying that the Seattle Seahawks didn't. I'm just saying if he was going to go to a place, the Denver Broncos were that place. They're trying to become relevant again. The Broncos have had some bad seasons the last few years, some inconsistent ones. New head coach, new philosophy, and a new quarterback. But he's a good quarterback. He's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. Russ Wilson is a Hall of Famer. He's the greatest Seattle Seahawk of all time. He did bypass Steve Largent as far as I'm concerned because he got that Super Bowl. He got him to 2 Super Bowls. He won one of them. Now, Largent is a great wide receiver and probably maybe the second best Seattle Seahawk of all time, but I think Russ Wilson surpassed that. Anyway, that's, as I said, an 8:15 kickoff on ESPN. That'll be Monday Night Football's opener, Denver at Seattle, and I'm going to take Denver by at least 2 touchdowns, possibly 3. Okay, just to do the recap of NFL Week 1 on J-Dawg's Fearless Football Picks for the 2022 NFL season for Week 1. I got the Rams. I got the Saints. I've got the Niners. I've got the Bengals. I've got the Eagles. I've got the Patriots. I've got the Ravens. I've got the Commanders, not Washington football team. I've got the Panthers. I've got the Colts, the Titans, the Packers, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Bucks, and the Broncos. That is Week 1 in the 2022 NFL season. My final 4 teams, by the way, this is what I got. In the AFC, I've got the Buffalo Bills hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think the Bills are going to win 15 games. They're going to have the best record in the NFL. Mahomes is going to win MVP. He's going to pass for close to 6,000 yards and throw for almost 60 touchdowns for the Kansas City Chiefs. I've got them in the Final 4, however, losing at the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills will meet the Los Angeles Rams in Super Bowl 57. They're going to defeat the Green Bay Packers in the NFC title game, and I think that'll be at Inglewood, California. I think the Rams are going to win at least 12 games, if not 13 games. I think they're going to be right up there. Packers are going to win 11-12. And I think Matt Stafford is going to have a good season. Cooper Kupp's the Super Bowl MVP. He's one of the best wide receivers in football. I think the Rams are going to be better this year than they were last year. And I think this cements Matt Stafford going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think he's going to put up some big numbers. And in the end, Super Bowl 57, Glendale, Arizona, State Farm Stadium, sold out show. Jammed to the rafters, if you will. The Buffalo Bills will circle the wagons and win their first ever Super Bowl over the Los Angeles Rams, because no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. They're going to finally circle those wagons to a Lombardi trophy, and Bills Mafia will finally get that long-awaited championship. Although, the 2 times that the Super Bowl has been in Glendale, the New England Patriots have participated in it. When they faced the New York Football Giants for the first time in February of 2008, and then against the Seattle Seahawks in February of 2015. Is there a chance that New England goes back and represents the AFC in the desert? I'm J-Dawg, J-Dawg's Fearless Football Picks for Week 1, and hope you enjoyed it. I'll be doing this all season long, including the playoffs. And it'll be J-Dawg's Fearless Football Picks from weeks 1 through 18. I almost said 17, 18. And then it'll be J-Dawg's Fearless Football Picks Playoff Edition, culminating in J-Dawg's Fearless Football Pick for Super Bowl 57, which will be in mid-February. It's a long, winding road. I hope you enjoy it with me, and subscribe and like and comment. I need your feedback. I got to know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. I'm still a novice at this, despite 600 plus videos on this YouTube channel. And this is the first time that I've gone live since I did that Elvis out of theater movie reaction. I didn't do a review. I did kind of a review. I didn't spoil anything. What's to spoil about Elvis, right? And I'll be doing another one of those when Creed 3 comes out March 3rd. That's the planned date, Friday, March 3rd, 2023. And then Indiana Jones 5, they still don't have a name for it as of right now, as of this September 8th, 2022, for Indiana Jones 5. I am going to go see that and do an out-of-theater reaction for that as well. That's in the summer, I think June of 2023. At the moment, those are the only movies I'm going to see in 2023. I only saw one movie this year, and that was Elvis. I have no interest in seeing any other movies this year. 2023, at least 2 movies. But again, each week, now I'm not going to be doing this at midnight Eastern every week either. I have a concert to go to leaving at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's why I'm doing this so early or late, depending on the time. Now, if you're on the left coast, this is early. This is right up your alley. If you're on the East Coast, you're probably getting your sleepy Z's. And you can catch this anytime you want and comment on it and like it or dislike it, whatever. I'm game. As long as you watch and comment and like what I'm doing or not like what I'm doing. I would prefer, though, if you like what I'm doing. It kind of helps me, make it through life. Okay. J-Dawg's Fearless Football Picks for week number 1. Hope you enjoyed it. Coming back next week at around, I think, 4 p.m. Eastern for NFL's second week of the season. And I'm going to do a brief recap, by the way, on Tuesday. It won't be live. It'll be recorded, but it'll be on my YouTube channel. If you're subscribed to it, great. If not, make sure you hit that subscribe. I've got 74 subscribers so far. I'm trying to get to 100. So when I get to 100, next year I can do daily content every day, including J-Dawg's Minute of Glory, where I will flap my gums for 1 minute. This year it's J-Dawg's Short Shorts, where I talk about who knows what, whether it's National Potato Day, or I give a Cleveland baseball legend his flowers, living or not living. That's just for 2022 only. I'm hoping to do more content down the line for movies, like watching movies, watching sporting events like professional wrestling, NHL All-Star Games, stuff like that. Just like, comment, and subscribe on my YouTube channel. I promise you, you won't regret it. Thank you. J-Dawg's Fearless Football Picks for 2022 NFL Week 1 in the books. I'll talk to you doing this again live next Thursday at around 4 p.m. Eastern for NFL's Week 2 picks. Before that, though, of course, I've got J-Dawg's Short Shorts coming up later on today. And on Tuesday, I'll do a recap of what I got right and what I got wrong. Ties count as losses for me, by the way.